for music, Dave.
No, that was a trick.
G'day!
G'day.
Good one, John.
G'day!
See you tomorrow.
I just want to say g'day.
G'day.
It's good to be with
What a
you.
great atmosphere it'll be down in the
indeed.
box today. Fantastic.
He's a suave fox, that
He is,
Don
isn't he?
Spencer, isn't he?
Such an easy kind of guy.
He's a
too.
lovely
Indeed.
man. Lovely,
Yeah,
lovely
super
man,
fun.
Don Spencer.
Yeah.
Nice to have
yeah.
him for a dad.
And good to see Dan as well.
Danielle?
Trudy.
Speaking of, the importance of dads in their children's lives can often be overlooked, but a new book is shaking things up.
Do Fathers Matter is a book which looks at the science behind fatherhood and finds that dads play a significant role. Author Paul Rayburn is attached to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and joins us now. Paul, good morning. It's great to have you with us. Now, your book has basically done a survey of all the scientific literature around the impact of fathers on their children. What have been the key findings over the years?
Well, what I try to do is really, this is the first book that tries to look across a broad range of sciences, not just psychology, but anthropology and genetics and biology, all kinds of things. And I think what we find when we put this together is just all kinds of examples of how much fathers contribute to their kids and how varied those contributions can be. Would you like me to give you a couple of examples?
Yeah, please.
Do, yeah.
Sure. So, like, we might think that during pregnancy, let's say, fathers are bystanders. I mean, what can they do? They haven't even met this little creature that's going to become their child soon. But it turns out that, we know that mothers undergo all kinds of hormonal changes during pregnancy. It turns out that fathers do the same thing. They have a drop in testosterone, a rise in a hormone called prolactin, which is associated with nursing in mothers. And what's happening is a whole shift in fathers to prepare them to be more nurturing, more emotional, and ready to be fathers.
Really?
So even before a child is born, new things are happening with dads.
You do hear about some dads who suffer sympathetic morning sickness sometimes when their wives are pregnant, although I think the wives
that's
would
right.
probably argue it's not as bad.
Not terribly sympathetic.
What did you find? We hear so much about how much mums contribute to their children's lives, but what particularly did dads contribute?
Well, one of the very important things that dads contribute is the way they play. So we tend to make light of play. Play is just play, right? But it turns out that play is actually more than play. Dads play with kids differently. This is probably the one bit of science people know. Dads are rougher with kids often. They roll around on the floor. They throw them up in the air, driving mothers crazy sometimes. But all that sort of unstructured play and a lot of give and take with their kids turns out to have important benefits. So it helps kids adjust socially as kids, and that persists through to middle age as long as they've followed people that kids who have a warm relationship with their dads, a lot of give and take and a lot of play, are more socially adept at, as adults. So it really has tremendous value.
Paul, as there's obviously a long way to go, but as more fathers take on a greater share of the domestic duties and the primary care of children, are the differences between what fathers and mothers bring to a child likely to lessen or exacerbate?
Well, I don't think they will lessen because I think a lot of this is sort of built into our biology at this point. So I think those will stay the same. With all the changes in the economy over the last decade or two, more moms going to work outside the home, couples with both parents earning wages and so forth. This has made for a lot of crazy childcare arrangements and passing the kids back and forth for a lot of families, but it also offers the opportunity for some dads to spend more time with their kids. And I think that's the good side of some of these economic pressures we have to deal with. If fathers are able to spend more time with their kids, they're able to make more of these contributions. And there's just a whole list of things. Kids' language development, for example, turns out that that's more closely related to the way fathers deal with kids, not mothers. In fact, there's no correlation between mothers and kids' kids' language development, but a lot of correlation between the way fathers treat them and their development. That single thing is also important for a long time. It helps the kids transition to school, they do better in elementary school, and on through later in school. So these things that fathers do are very, very important.
Probably the kinds of words they're learning from their dads as well, I think, Paul. Thank you
Well, a
so
few
much
French
for that.
terms, you think?
Perhaps.
We're keeping this all above board here.
Yeah, you are. Thank you so much, Paul. Really, really interesting. And Paul's book, Do Fathers Matter, is available now. Head to our website for details.
I presume all of those benefits are dependent on the father being around enough and being around in a positive fashion. So in a sort of conflict-free fashion. You know?
It's very interesting because I, am travelling a lot these days, and therefore I'm very conscious of when I'm home with the kids. They may be saying different things to me right now, throwing things at the television, but of the way that we do interact, and to absolutely ensure that, when you walk out of the house again, which is often quite quickly, that you're leaving on a good note, and the time that you've had together has been.
Have you noticed
quality.
since you've been away a lot more their vocabulary diminishing considerably?
Considerably, yeah. Sam can't speak Spanish anymore, all that sort of stuff. So it's gone.
Or Swahili in your case. Yeah.
Oh dear. Still ahead, Loos with Views. Yep, we found Australia's best toilets. We're keeping it classy. This is my suggestions.